Scene script. Have you ever found yourself in a financial pinch? Imagine this. Your car breaks down unexpectedly, and it's going to cost a hefty sum to fix. Or maybe you wake up one morning to a leaky roof that needs immediate attention. In life, unexpected expenses are more a question of when, not if. That's where an emergency fund comes in. An emergency fund is a financial safety net, designed to cover those surprise expenses that can throw a wrench into your budget. It's like a financial umbrella, there to protect you when the rain starts to pour. Consider the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're prepared for those unexpected financial storms. You can sleep a little easier at night, confident that you can navigate through any unexpected financial turbulence. That's the power of an emergency fund. It's more than just a financial tool, it's your financial lifeline. Remember, emergency funds are not just an option, they are a necessity. So you understand the necessity of an emergency fund. But how much should you save? Let's dive right into it. Financial experts often recommend setting aside 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses as a solid emergency fund. This means if you spend $2,000 a month on rent, groceries, utilities, and other essentials, you'd aim to have between $6,000 and $12,000 tucked away. But remember, this is a guideline, not a hard and fast rule. The amount you need in your emergency fund can vary based on your individual circumstances. First off, consider your job security. If your income is steady and predictable, you might be comfortable with a smaller emergency fund. But if your income fluctuates or your job situation is uncertain, it's wise to aim for a larger buffer. Next, think about your personal comfort level. Some people sleep better at night knowing they have a significant safety net. Others might feel comfortable with less in the bank, especially if they have other resources to fall back on, like investments or supportive family members. What about unexpected expenses? If you own a home, have kids, or drive an older car, you might be more likely to encounter unexpected expenses. In these cases, a larger emergency fund can offer peace of mind. And then there's debt. If you're carrying high-interest debt, it might make sense to keep a smaller emergency fund while you focus on paying down that debt. So where does that leave us? Well, it's up to you to determine what feels right. Start by calculating your monthly living expenses, then multiply that by 3, and then 6. These figures will give you a range to aim for. Remember, it's not about hitting a specific number immediately, it's about starting the process, making regular contributions, and gradually building up your emergency fund over time. The key is to start somewhere. Even a small emergency fund can provide a financial cushion, helping you avoid debt and giving you peace of mind. Remember, the goal is not to stress about the exact amount but to start saving. Building an emergency fund may seem daunting, but it's simple when broken down into manageable steps. The first step is to determine your financial goal. Consider your monthly expenses and aim to save enough to cover 3 to 6 months of these costs. This cushion will provide you with a safety net if unexpected expenses arise. Once you've established your goal, it's time to plan how you'll achieve it. The key here is consistency. Set a monthly savings goal that fits within your budget. Whether it's $50 or $500, the amount doesn't matter as much as the act of saving regularly. Remember, every little bit counts when you're building your emergency fund. After setting your monthly savings goal, it's time to make those regular deposits. It's best to automate this process so you don't forget or skip it. Many banks offer automatic transfer services that can move a predetermined amount from your checking account to your savings account each month. This way, your savings grow without any extra effort on your part. Now that you're regularly contributing to your fund, it's crucial to keep this money separate from your everyday spending account. Why? Because it reduces the temptation to dip into your savings for non-emergency expenses. Consider opening a dedicated savings account for your emergency fund. This account should be easily accessible but not so accessible that it's tempting to use the funds for everyday expenses. Finally, it's important to review and adjust your savings plan as necessary. Life changes, and so do our financial needs. Regularly reviewing your emergency fund will ensure it continues to meet your needs. If your monthly expenses increase, for instance, you may need to adjust your savings goal accordingly. Building an emergency fund is a step-by-step process that requires discipline and consistency. But remember, the peace of mind that comes with knowing you're prepared for financial emergencies is well worth the effort. With discipline and consistency, you can build your emergency fund. Now that you've built your emergency fund, how do you maintain it? An emergency fund, much like a garden, requires regular attention and care to flourish. If you dip into your fund, it's crucial to replenish it as soon as possible. Think of it as refilling a safety net, ensuring it's always ready to catch you when you fall. But maintaining an emergency fund isn't just about refilling it, it's about regular reassessment. As your financial situation changes, so should the size of your fund. Got a raise? It might be time to increase your emergency fund. Did your living expenses decrease? You may be able to adjust your fund accordingly. Regularly reviewing your fund can ensure it aligns with your current financial needs and goals. It's about striking a balance between being prepared for emergencies and making the most of your financial resources for other life goals. A well-maintained emergency fund is a key component of financial security. Let's summarize what we've learned about creating a solid emergency fund. We started with understanding the importance of an emergency fund, a safety net that cushions against unexpected life events like job loss, medical emergencies, or sudden home repairs. We underscored that it's not just a luxury but a necessity for your financial well-being. We then discussed the recommended amount for this fund. Ideally, it should cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, providing a buffer during challenging times. Next, we delved into the steps of building this fund. It begins with setting a goal, budgeting wisely, and making regular contributions, even if they're small. Over time, these savings will accumulate into a substantial emergency fund. Finally, we touched upon maintaining your fund. It's crucial to replenish any amount used and adjust the fund size as your living expenses change. Remember, your emergency fund is there for your peace of mind and financial stability. Start building yours today.